Howdy, y'all. Caleb here. We had the battle scroll update, so we got some new points for Seraphon. Let's see how that affects our army. To be honest, it's not a whole lot. I think there's some stuff that will affect the competitive lists, but it's not too bad. I think we can make up for that. And we have some stuff that will affect our more casual, our fun lists, and we'll get into that as well. Also, I'm going to look at some of the lists that have done really well over the past month or so and how these changes affect them. So first up, we had Lord Kroak. He went up 20 points to 450. I think that's perfectly fine. I expected a little bit of a nerf to Kroak because he is quite strong, especially against some armies. He'll be very good versus those. So 20-point increase, we can make up for that, I feel like. A lot of our lists that take Kroak, we have a lot of smaller units that are running around the board, and I think we can just kind of downgrade one of those to get that extra 20 points. We'll take a look at some of these here in a minute. I think probably one of the most popular things that you'll do is just downgrade some Hunters of Huanche from the Bolas to the Dart Pipes. That's your 20 points right there. Call it good. But 20-point increase on Kroak is to be expected. He's quite good. He's in a lot of our lists, but I think we can make up for that. Some of the more fun stuff here is our points decrease on the Saurus Oldblood on Carnosaur. Down 20 points, getting closer to where he probably should be. It's a good Carnosaur it's a good monster when you get it loaded up with the right things. It has its role, so I don't mind paying 270 for it, especially because of what you could take any monsters in its regiment options. But they updated this. They added for the Saurus Oldblood on Carnosaur any Seraphon. Oh, that is juicy. Now, in this same conversation, we can look up and see that the Saurus Oldblood on foot also got any Seraphon. And I think probably those two right there are the most exciting thing in this Battle Scroll update. Any Seraphon. And that means you can bring in Kroak with your Saurus heroes now. You can bring in Hunters of Huanche in an all Saurus list. That's huge because that was one of the kind of the weaknesses. If you're bringing a Carnosaur, it's your general, you're trying to load up that regiment. Now you can include some of those Skink or Kroak units that we haven't really been able to include in those regiments. Also, the Saurus Oldblood on foot is probably the cheapest way to run like a Thunder Lizard list, like heavy monsters. I don't know that you would do that. I think you still kind of want the Carnosaur on there, but it's a very cheap option to get a lot of stuff into your list building. 110 points for the Saurus Oldblood on foot can bring any Seraphon. That might have some ripple effects. Maybe I'll start including that in some list building. I have to see. Carnosaur, I think, just gets a little bit better having any Seraphon. I like that a lot. I use a Carnosaur a lot. I like the big monsters, so being able to include some Hunters of Huanche, some Ripperdactyls, some Terra Wings, some what else would I want to include? Some Kroak, some Raptidon Chargers and Kroak. I mean, it's gonna be fun list building with a Carnosaur now. We also got a points decrease, down 20 points on the Saurus Scar Veteran on Aggrodon. I think more than anything, the Aggrodon hero needs a little bit of maybe a War Scroll tweak. Let me use his ability to do +1 rage more than once per game, and all of a sudden he'd be useful. So at 170, if you're looking at spamming a bunch of Aggrodons, maybe that helps you out. I think in every Aggrodon spam list I've ever tried, that 20 points probably doesn't matter too much. But it might be enough to upgrade something in your other regiment to something a little bit better. But okay, fine. That one's fine. The only other change here we got is a Stegadon. The normal Stegadon went down 40 points. It's down to 180. So now it's the same points cost as an Engine of the Gods. So I think that is a good points range for it. It definitely needed to be cheaper than the Stegadon Hero. There was almost no reason to take the normal Stegadon over the Stegadon Hero. But now at 180, if you're looking to put in a monster, now you're gonna have to really decide: is the Engine of the Gods with its Cosmic Engine, does it provide me enough value? If not, then go with the normal Stegadon. It's not a great shooting attack, but it does have a shooting attack. But then its Rampage is actually really good. So I think it's worth taking at 180 just for its Rampage. When you charge infantry, you get that 2d6 move. You can move through the infantry. You should be able to get past the screen and kind of tag up something. Now, the Stegadon's not going to kill that something that you tag up, but maybe if you're just trying to get into like a shooting unit or a hero or something like that, that you want to pull into combat and they're not going to be able to kill you, then the Stegadon is pretty good at getting past some screens. So I would have a use there. Maybe some of those lists where I took multiple engines, maybe I'm going to swap out one of those for a Stegadon now. If you look at it as a package, the Stegadon Chief and a Stegadon, for a total of 380 points. They both have interesting rampages you could use. They both kind of go into a regiment together. Maybe that's a good package. I don't know. We're gonna have to play around with it some. So I think the Stegadon is at least playable now. That was a thing beforehand. Like there was no reason to put it into your list because for an extra 20 points you get the Stegadon Chief, which is better. So now at 180, I think it's interesting. All right, let's take a look at some of the lists now that are out that have done really well over the past few months and see how this affects us. So I pulled up a bunch of lists. All these lists have either gone 4-1 or 5-0, and over the past, I think I pulled over the past month or so. So we're gonna look at these and see how it affects these lists. Also, this is some good ideas if you're looking for some good competitive lists. These have all done really well at big GTs. So. This was Michael Smith's at Adepticon, which just wrapped up, I guess, last weekend. He's at exactly 2,000 points, and he's got Lord Kroak. So we need to find a way to make up 20 points in this list. Nothing else here increased or went down, and I think the obvious choice here is the Hunters of Huanche with Starstone Bolas. You can downgrade them to the Dart Pipes for that extra 20 points, and you've made it up. We've done this before with I think it was the last update. We lost about 20 points in our list building, and you saw everybody just kind of moved from one unit of bolas to the dart pipes, just downgraded those, and I think that's kind of where we're at again. You do lose a little bit of that debuff ability from the bolas, but in general, I think you'll be fine with just downgrading those. Another option you could do, Pterodon Riders. I like those. Those are super fast. But you could just swap them out for Terra Wings. Obviously not as good, not quite as fast, a little bit weaker, but they kind of fill that same role. Not as good of a screen, so a little bit worse in all those categories, but that's an option if you really want to hold on to your bolas. You could take the Pterodon Riders down and get Terra Wings in there. So, all right. Let's see. Sean's also from Adepticon. Oh, this was a team tournament. Oh, this was 1,000 points. I don't think anything changed in this one. I think he's good. Okay. We had Abe from Fantastia, Salon, and Kroak. So he's at 10 points under at the moment. So now we only need to make up 10 points in this list. So the easy option is bolas. I think you're going to see that with each one of them. You could drop some points here, but you've also got all of these units here, which we use for screening, battle tactics, just getting in the way, scoring objectives early on. All of those have cheaper options. Now, the Pterodon Riders are very good, but you can reduce one of these down if you need to. Skinks could get a little bit cheaper, or could go down to Terra Wings. You might end up in a place where you don't have as good of units to buff your war spawn. So whichever one you're looking to really focus that buff on the war spawn, if it's a Skinks, then maybe you only downgrade one of these to a unit of Skinks or to Terra Wings to get that extra 10 points you need. Let's see, Adrian from the Gauntlet. He's in Shadow Strike. He's 10 points under as well, so we need to make up the 10 points from Kroak. Going up 20. And probably your best option. On this one, let's keep the bolas in there since we only need to make up 10 points. I think what we can do is we can downgrade one of these Raptidon Chargers to Raptidon Hunters. They're the shooting ones. In this list, you're probably not using the Chargers for their damage anyway, since they're not reinforced. And the Hunters are going to be just as good at their utility play as the Chargers are. They're going to do screens. They're going to grab objectives. They can do a little bit of damage. So I think they'll be okay. Let's see what else we got. Pendleton from False Alarm GT. He's 40 points under, so he won't have a problem making up Kroak's extra 20 points. He's good there. Bastiladon, Kroxagor, Warriors, Slon also, Hunters of Huachi, and Engine of God. So his is good. All good there. Man, that's a fun list, though. Kroak and Slon. I have trouble every time I play that. I have a hard time playing both of them at the same time. Some of you guys are doing great with it, though. We got Dalton from Rocky Mountain Open. And he's right on the money at 2,000, so we need to figure out the 20 points for Kroak. Easy answer is Hunters of Huanche. Reduce them. What else we got here that we could bring down? He's got a 3 drops. Man. I think that's probably what you're doing. Based on what the list is trying to do, I'm guessing he's going Field Sergeant to push these War Spawn. Is what I'm guessing. So I don't really want to lose that guy, and Starseer's too good. So I think your Bolas is what's going to have to go down in points. All right, what do we have next? Michael from Sparkle Party. Jura Sissy. All right, he's at 2,000 points exactly. Oh, I think he's good. He's got no Slon, or he's got no Kroak, so he's good. Yeah, no changes needed for this list. So that one right there. We've got a Slon with Kotal Familiar. What's his? He's got Morbid Conjuration in Sunclaw. Okay. 2 units of Hunters of Wanche, 1 of each. Kroxagor reinforced, the normal ones. Skink Star Priest, so probably Field Sergeant to push these Kroxagor. We've got Skink Starseer with Warp Spawned. Nice. So that Field Sergeant could push both of those Kroxagor units. Chargers and Hunters. All right, nice. Those Hunters will synergize with these Chargers, and all of them will synergize with the War Spawn. All right, I like it. It's a nice tight list, and it's already at 2,000 points, so he doesn't have to change a thing. Romaine from I can't say that word. I don't know what that means. All right, what do we got? 2,000 points exactly. Kroak goes up 20 points. He's already got Terror Wings in there at 70. So he could downgrade his Bolas, or maybe these Hunters are kind of by themselves. They're not really buffing any Chargers. Maybe you take your 20 points there. So I think you could make that up. That would give you 110 to work with. You could always you could find plenty of things to Ripperdactyls, Terror Wings, or Pterodon Riders, another Hunters of Huanche. So I think maybe that's where I would take those points from. Attila. Let's see what we got here. Thunderquake. Ooh, hold on. We got Thunderquake. It's 10 points under. We do have Kroak, so we got to make up another 10 points somewhere. Ooh. Okay. Well, he does have 2 units of Bolas. So probably you're going to reduce one of these units of Bolas. So we got Kroak, 2 Arc of Sotex, 1 Solar Engine, 1 Engine of the Gods. I like that core right there. That's a nice core of an army. That's my kind of list. We got a Skink Oracle on Troglodon with Incandescent Retruses and Beastmaster. Beautiful. Another Bastiladon with Solar Engine. So we got 2 fighting Bastiladons, 2 shooting Bastiladons, and then we have 2 units of Hunters of Huanche. So, okay, good. I think you drop the points there with the Hunters of Huanche. Just bring them down to some Dart Pipes and call it good. You could, you know what? Drop one of these down, if you have them, just down to Pterodon Riders. That gives you something on the board. That gives you a fast unit that can kind of screen up a little bit. They're 90 points. You only needed to make up 10. So maybe I like that as Pterodon Riders. Let's see. What in the world? We've got Gotrek in this list. This list did good. I think it was a 4-1 list. All right, 3 drops. Sunclaw. We have a Slon, a Kroxagor, Raptidon Chargers, Warriors, Troglodon, Hunters of Huanche, Skinks, and Gotrek. I didn't even check to see if Gotrek changed in points or not. But this list is 2,000. No changes here. Gotrek. All right. Cool. You've got a hard-to-kill Troglodon. You've got a War Spawned unit that's dangerous. You've got lots of utility units. You got some warriors to block it up, and then charging Gotrek when you need to. Cool. Cool. I haven't seen anybody playing Gotrek lately. All right, Joseph's list. Fun detected. Initializing suppression protocol. We got Kroak. How many points is this? 1990, so we need to make up 10 points. I think it's going to be the same story here as all the others. Yeah, you're going to make it up with one of these two units. That's what you're going to do. You only need 10 points. So you can drop those. If you really want the bolas, just drop the dart pipes down to some Terror Wings. They kind of perform that same role. They can't ambush, obviously, but they're going to still perform that same role of getting in the way, scoring battle tactics, reclaim the realms, take their lands, that type of thing. Take the flanks. So they can still perform that same role. Maybe that's what you do. Florian, I think I've only got 3 more. Let's make sure nothing weird's going on here. We got 10 points we need to make up. It's gonna be, yeah. He's got 2 units of hunters, or just drop one of these down to, drop one of the Raptidon Chargers down to Raptidon Hunters. I think that's the easiest trade right there. Brian's, Mr. Kroak's Wild Ride. I mean, look at how many Kroaks there are in all these 4-in-1 lists. So we got to make up nope, just 10 points. I mean, that's all. It's either 10 or 20 points on most of these lists. He's got a reinforced unit of Chargers, so I definitely don't want to mess that up, because they will pair so well with these War Spawned. So Hunters of Huanche again. There you go. Maybe since we only need 10 points, get them to Pterodon Riders. And the last one here, Keenan the Blender. He's already got 20 points. So Kroak, we can absorb that. Hopefully we don't have to change anything else in this list. Nope, we're good. So already that list right there doesn't need any changes. So, all right, overall, I think we're in pretty good shape. I think we can absorb those changes with just a couple units, making a slight adjustment there. So Kroak up 20 points. Carnosaur down 20 points, but most importantly, Carnosaur and the Oldblood getting any Seraphon in their regiment options. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to do some list building now. Let me know if you've come up with anything fun to do with the Carnosaur with his any Seraphon regiment options. All right, guys. See y'all next time.